Welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport.
Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport and another episode of One Race Wonders, where we take a look back at the poor unfortunate souls who only got one shot at Formula 1. If there is someone in particular you'd like to see a video on, leave a comment down below and make sure you check out the entire playlist on these poor suckers. Some interesting stuff waiting for you in there. But for now, take a seat, chill out, and let's take a walk down memory lane. Today we are looking at the career of Adolf Brudes and his one race in Formula 1, and why it was only one race. Born in 1899 near Breslau, in what was Germany at the time, but is now in modern day Poland, he was born into German nobility. And as a lot of these older racers seem to start off in motorcycle racing, and Adolf Brudes is no different, beginning his motorsport career in 1919. That's amazing to think about. Motorcycle racing over 100 years ago. I'm guessing it probably wasn't very safe. He was a works driver and lead mechanic for the Victoria Motorcycle Company. Never heard of them. But in 1925, Adolf Brudes set a land speed record riding a Victoria bike at over 100 miles per hour. In 1925, that is insane. But wanting to move up in the motorsport world, he brought a Bugatti T37A Voiturette and went hill climbing in Poland. I don't remember Lewis Hamilton going that route, but hey, it was a different time. Major opportunities were limited. But he did finish third in the 1930 Eifel Rennen at the Nürburgring. He also raced at Avus, a really awesome track that's no longer used, but was essentially two massive straights with a hairpin at each end. Keith O'Dore was killed there in 1995 in a Super Tourenwagen race. It was a hugely dangerous track, and even more so in the early 1930s, but Adolf's Bugatti couldn't take the strain and he retired 3 years in a row. In 1936, Adolf was invited to test for the Auto Union team for a place in the Nürburgring Grand Prix that year. Sadly, he was unsuccessful and instead brought a BMW 328 and raced for the Works BMW team in the 24 Hours of Spa, finishing fourth as well as a podium in the 1940 Mile Miglia, partnered with fellow German Ralph Rossi. But as motor racing came to an end due to World War II, so did Adolf Brudes' early career. And sadly, after the war, Adolf Brudes lost everything. So with nothing left to his name and no cars left to begin racing again, Adolf Brudes moved to Berlin looking for work and was introduced to American officer Alexander Orley, who was interested in motorsport himself. Brudes was then employed to prepare cars for Orley to race. Probably coveting his neighbour's oxen by this point, Adolf Brudes restarted his racing career in an Orley special BMW based on a Veritas Meteor. And it was with this car that he got his moment in the sun, when he entered it under his own name in the 1952 German Grand Prix under the Formula 2 rules. In a Formula 1 championship only in its third year, he qualified 19th out of 34 entered cars, although I can't find a time he posted. What I can say was that he qualified third of the 5 Veritas BMWs, so probably not a bad performance. But sadly he lasted just 5 laps, before an engine failure ended his German Grand Prix and his Formula 1 career. But at nearly 53 years of age, he is still, and probably always will be, the 6th oldest person to ever enter a Formula 1 Grand Prix. Not bad for an old geezer. After his very brief Formula 1 career, he would get a run in the 1953 Le Mans 24-hour race, partnering fellow pre-war racer Hans-Hugo Hartmann. Racing as a works driver with the Borgward Works team in a Hansa 1500 RS, they sadly wouldn't finish the race after running out of fuel 4 hours in. He'd have a few more races, but with his advancing years, his race career began to slow down and he wouldn't make any more major appearances, with his final race being the 1968 Taunus Hill Climb in an Alfa Romeo Giulia, in which he finished third in class. Still an avid car enthusiast, he was driving in demonstrations as late as 1976, before sadly passing away in 1986, at the ripe old age of 87. In conclusion, the Formula 1 World Championship probably started too late for Adolf Brudes to have more of a chance at a career in the series. He was more used to sports car racing anyway as opposed to Grand Prix racing, which was a lot more expensive, and in post-war Germany, sports cars were more popular and seemed to have an effect on the car manufacturing industry, whilst Grand Prix racing was very expensive, and with very little spare parts to run cars, it was kind of a side business. Sadly, his prime years were interrupted by the onset of World War II, and seeing as he lost everything, he lost a lot of years to the effects of war, but he got to race in some pretty sweet cars, and had an interesting career to tell his grandkids about. And with that, we end another One Race Wonder episode. Remember to check out the playlist with 8 whole episodes and more on the way. And if you don't mind, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. Leave a comment down below. As I said, lots more content on the way, even during this motor racing drought. So stay healthy and have a good one.